first guest on the program today is somebody who is known for giving a platform to overqualified housewives. Now, that term is pretty much self-explanatory, but what this female has done is that she went on to have a startup where she's giving a platform to all women who end up taking a break for some reason or the other because they become mothers, they step out of their professional life, and it's so difficult. We all know now it is so difficult to actually come back. So joining me on the program now is Sankari Sudhar. Hi, good morning.
Hi, a very good morning. I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you.
Very good to have you, Sankari, as well. Now, I want to understand all about your journey. I also want to understand what this platform does. As a mom of a 10-month-old, this is a constant debate in my house, in everybody I know as well. But first tell me, so you worked with Infosys, you worked at an IT company for a long time, till the time you had a baby and you had to take a career break. Then what happened? Tell us.
Yeah, so until I took a career break, I never understood the real meaning of maternity leave, I would say. So only after having a baby, it was very difficult to manage both my professional life and personal life. And I found that, if I have to do something, I have to give it 100%. I found it very difficult to manage. So I took a career break, thinking that at least that will give some peace. But to my surprise, it was not giving me a lot of peace. Instead, it was making me to reduce my confidence, making me to think every day that I'm not utilizing my potential when I was being a housewife. So every day there used to be a question, right? Why you studied well? Why you went for a job? What are you doing now? Your peers are moving ahead in their life while you are sitting and taking care of your child. Your child. But of course, it's so important to be with our children when they are young. But that doesn't mean that we have to completely forget all our dreams and goals, right? So that was the mindset, and I was finding some way. I was trying to find some way for myself. Then somehow we found a way for a lot more.
Right, right. I love what you've done. So your story is a story of so many women we know all around us, and everybody these days is trying to figure out how to actually get back. But you know, my question to you, Kari, is this, that you've got this platform now where you're upskilling women, you're bringing them up to speed and sort of, you know, making them market ready, so to say again. But there is a difference between getting a job and having a career, right?
Yes.
So how do you spell that gap? Because you're right, the frustrations of a woman not being able to live up to her full potential is real. But equally frustrating is when you have a job which you know is, you know, below par.
So true. That's an amazing question. Because, even now, after working with thousands of women in this past few years, I understood that most of them want to get back to workforce, but they don't talk about building a career for themselves. They don't think about going to that leadership level or being in the C-suite, right? So that is where we have to aim at. Now we have started initially. First, we have to bridge this gap. Then, once we come to an extent, I think we can think about the next level too. Now we have started talking about leaderships. We have started this year. We are planning to give few more leadership trainings and communication skill trainings to the leadership level. Because personally, I think that it is not just being in a job, it's also about building something more. In fact, we need more women leaders in order to bridge this gap of women employment, in order to bridge this female labor force participation.
But where does it
Yeah.
start? You know, in your experience, the the fact that, I mean, we all want to imagine a world where women don't have to take a career break. We want to imagine a world where they don't have to be put, there is a scenario where they have to be sort of finding ways to get back to the workforce. What we want is participation at home so that there is no lack of participation at work. So isn't that the real problem that has to be bridged?
Absolutely, absolutely. So your question, to answer your question, it starts from home. It starts when they are a child. So how we are teaching our children? Are we making our girl children to behave in a different way and boy children to behave and raise them in a different way? That's where it starts, I guess. So it starts right from college as well. In college, are we studying just for the sake of the rank, or are we really gaining some skills so that we can move ahead? Because I am very sure that most of the girls study really well. We are the toppers, but what is happening just for the rank? Degree is important, but along with that, it's so important to gain skills as well. And overall, it is not just about the opportunity gap. It is also about cultural gap and skill gap, I would say. We have to try to bridge
But
all
Sankari,
these
tell me
things.
this. Yeah. Tell me this now, when you're interacting with so many women who are eager to get back to work, kids have grown up, responsibility have been given, and now they're figuring out what to do. What is the biggest challenge that you face? I know confidence is an issue, but apart from that,
Yes.
we're in a digital world where upskilling is not a problem. Getting a job or applying or knowing avenues is not a problem. So what is the biggest barrier that you face today?
Okay. So the biggest barrier is they have a very severe confidence level issue. They are when they are in career break, their confidence reduces, and because of that, they are so scared. What will happen if they go and get rejected? Fear of rejection, fear of failure is another issue. Because and the next thing is finding that support system. Okay, so if a girl is taking break for a few years, let's assume for 4 to 5 years, one day if she's going to her family and saying that I want to restart, the first question will be why now, right? To answer that question, many women, they don't have a good answer, or they find it very difficult to convince their family and build that support system. To me, what I would say is, if we try to get the support of the entire family, it's never going to happen. We have to find at least one hand which can support us in the initial days. But again, that is another thing as well, fear of taking action. They are still thinking, yes, of course, it's a digital era. You have rightly mentioned it's a digital era. Everything is in the touch of the button, but how many of us are really using it? Are we using it? They are not ready to invest their time, money, and effort on themselves, but they will do everything for their family. So that's how we have been raised.
That is true.
Right?
That is true. So we've got to find a balance somewhere. We've got to figure out how, like I said, participation of women in the workforce will only happen if there is participation of men in the house, because without that, there is never going to be an equilibrium anywhere. Sankari, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with everything that you're doing. I love the name, by the way. Overqualified Housewives really spells out the entire problem and solution at one go. So good luck with everything you are doing.